I mean, for me, when I first read the script, I thought this is Anthony's story. When I met Anthony, and then I met Judy first, and then I met Anthony, I realized it was their story. And because he credited her so much for being who he is, for becoming who he is as a human being and as a fighter. And he got that from his mom. And so I really felt it was my responsibility to bring more of Judy into the story, into the script, and really show both sides of who she was. In other words, there's the mom who's always encouraging her kid and uplifting him and doing that part. And that was pretty much how you hear Anthony talk about, my mom's great. She always did this. She was always happy. She was always joyful. She was always up. And then when I talked to Judy, and she was like, yes, I was that, but I was also struggling in this way, wanting to get out of this, you know, feeling like everything was my fault, and I took all of that stuff and all of the things that she was so gracious to share with me, because I know how hard it is for people to know your life story or to think they know your life story, and to take that and trust me with the responsibility of telling it in a way that served the story, but also told the truth, because that's what made the story triumphant. That's what made it victorious.
So Judy, what's for you like hard sometimes to see her like portrayed, because as she say, the movie shows like very like complicated moments, right? There's a lot of joy, of course, but there's a lot of like suffering too. There's like difficult circumstances that you went through. So how was that for you, just to see her like?
It was hard to relive. It honestly was. But I think because she paid so much attention to the details and what I did share with her, she was able to capture everything that I felt during that time. And just the subtleties, like just the look in her eyes when she would look at Anthony or when she would look, you know, at Rick. It was there. And these are things that I shared with her, that she cared about the details of those pieces. Being vulnerable was never something that I wanted. I'm one that like, just leave me alone, just let me live my life and kind of, but I after watching the film and seeing what a great job she did, I honestly have started to grow because of that. And I saw the messiness of Judy through what she did, but I also saw the strength and the growth at the end of it, and how it's like, I'm okay because all of those pieces of messy made me the woman that I am. And it's because of all those lessons that I've learned that I can be like, yeah, I did. Yeah, that was me. But I'm good with me now because I'm proud of who I am. And
you portray like characters that are like directly based on real persons. Mm-hmm. You seem to be very selective in those terms, right? You have of course, Pucci from El Cantante and Selena.
It was one of my favorite roles.
But then you just like, Selena. You usually don't do it. I mean, it have to be something very special for you.
It does. I think it does have to be something special. These different stories, like I did El Cantante. It was the first movie I ever produced, and I played Pucci because that was such a movement in Latin music, and I thought that was a story that needed to be told. The same way I felt like this was a story that needed to be told, that I wanted to share with the world. I don't think people know enough people know about Anthony Robles, and I think it's so inspiring, and I think he changes the world just being who he is. He's an incredible human being. I've learned from him being here, listening to him, you know, and how he approaches life and how he does things with the challenges that he was born with. And I think for different reasons I do these different stories. And obviously Selena was such a beautiful story as well about family. I think they all have a family element to them. Mm-hmm. And it's always something that is very deeply rooted in love, no matter how complicated the stories are.